Shannon School. Shannon Rugby. We now come to our poems, The Challenge in Flanders Field, read by Josh Rauhigi, and the response, We Shall Keep the Faith by Carly Christensen. So if they two could come forward, please.
Field, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, and marks our place, and end in the sky. The lark still bravely singing, fly, scarce in their mid, the guns below. We are the team, short days ago. We live, therefore, saw some cyclone. Love and we love, and now we lie in Flanders Field. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing. Ends we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high. If you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow, and Flanders good.
We shall keep the faith. Oh, you who sleep in Flanders Field, sleep sweet to rise anew. We caught the torch you threw, and holding high, we keep the faith with all who die. We cherish, too, the poppy red that glows on fields where a fellow led. It seems to signal to the sky that blood of heroes never dies, but lends the lustre to the red of the flower that blooms above the dead in Flanders Field. And now the torch and poppy red we wear in honour of our dead. Fear not that ye have died for naught, we'll teach the lessons that ye wrought in Flanders Field.
Which brings us to our commitment to the tradition of A.N.Z.A.C. And Ross Campbell comes forward and leads us in this. Ross will say about half of the sentence and we will repeat it.
Thank you, John. Commitment to the tradition of A.N.Z.A.C. We declare our intention to accept the personal responsibility to lead our community in a spirit of self-sacrifice, worthy of the A.N.Z.A.C. tradition. We will accept the challenge of defending the standards that made our nation strong, and devote ourselves to winning the peace for the sake of all.
brings us to the letters from Dame Patsy Reedy and from the Prime Minister Bill English. Jill Timms to read the letter from Patsy, and Dean Fowle to read the letter from the Right Honourable Bill English.
New Zealand, along with other nations, is currently in the 4th year of commemoration to mark the centenary of the First World War. Later in the year, there will be commemorations to mark the centenaries of 2 massive battles for our troops on the Western Front at A.N.Z.A.C and A.N.Z.A.C, as well as the Palestine campaign. A.N.Z.A.C Day is a time to reflect also on New Zealand's engagement in all conflicts, including the Second World War, the Korean War and the Vietnam War, and many peacekeeping missions around the world. A legacy of our participation is the strength of bonds we have forged with other nations, both friend and foe. It was at Gallipoli that a new respect developed between Australian and New Zealand troops. Australian historian Charles Bean, referring to the first few days of the campaign, 3 days of genuine trial had established a friendship which centuries will not destroy. It was fitting that the Australian Memorial was the first to be installed at Pukeahu National War Memorial Park in Wellington. It was recently joined by a Turkish memorial and monuments honouring our wartime connections with France, Canada, Belgium, the United Kingdom and the United States of America are scheduled for completion during the centenary period. 100 years after the momentous events of 1917, New Zealand society is much more diverse. Over a quarter of New Zealand's population today was born overseas. Our challenge is to ensure that the significance of this important national day is shared by all New Zealanders. I am mindful that while we are fortunate to live in a time of relative peace, many people who have recently made New Zealand their new home have had first-hand experience of war and conflict. My hope is that A.N.Z.A.C Day can be a time for all New Zealanders to come together, regardless of their age or background, to reflect on the impact of conflict in our community and to affirm specific traditions which we hold dear, along with our fervent hope for peace between nations. A.N.Z.A.C Day will remain our special day to honour those who serve their country. It is a time to honour the veterans among us in our communities and the courageous men and women who serve in our defence force today. New Zealand servicemen and women who are no longer with us will be proud to know their descendants come together to honour their memory. Today we remember their commitment and sacrifice and acknowledge the strong bonds forged between us in this act of solemn commemoration.
It is now over a century since the A.N.Z.A.C troops arrived at Gallipoli on the morning of the 25th of April 1915. Though time moves on, we will never forget the campaign that took the lives of nearly 2,800 brave New Zealanders who had travelled far from home to serve their country. Today we join in paying our respects to those first arrivals and to all New Zealanders who served at Gallipoli. We remember also our fellow A.N.Z.A.Cs, the Australian troops, and all who fought on both sides of the campaign. Through the broad lens of time, we can see that our foes were men just like ours, resisting as anyone was the invasion of their homeland and incurring losses nearly double those of the Allied combined. This year marks a number of First World War centenaries: the Battle of A.N.Z.A.C, the war in Sinai, Palestine, and New Zealand's darkest day, the Battle of Passchendaele. It also marks the 75th anniversary of the Second Battle of El Alamein. As these anniversaries approach, we're reminded that A.N.Z.A.C Day has evolved over the years, becoming a day of wider remembrance, a time to reflect on our full military history and all New Zealanders who have served their country. It is also a time to acknowledge the men and women of today's New Zealand Defence Force who put themselves at risk in the world's conflict zones, furthering this nation's commitment to international peace, security and cooperation. Today we pause and give thanks to them for their service and their sacrifice and that of their families. A.N.Z.A.C Day brings us together in New Zealand, in Turkey, in Australia and in many countries around the world to honour all New Zealanders who have continued to serve in the fine tradition of courage and compassion demonstrated by the A.N.Z.A.C at Gallipoli. We cannot give back lost lives or hold us in body or spirit, but we can ensure their service is never forgotten. This is and will always be their day. Right Honourable Bill English.
Thank you, Jill and Dean. We now come to our last vote, during which the flag will be lowered. There was 1 whole minute silence, and then we will have our rally.
Master of puppets.
So we now come to sing our national anthem, and will be led by Judy Drake. And the words are in the service sheet, if you can be near one.
Der ist so
So we now come to the conclusion of our service. I'll read the benediction. John Mackenzie and I will put our copies on the cenotaph, and after we have done that, we invite the public to place there if they wish. Prior to the service, I should have announced that Shannon A.N.Z.A.C invites everyone, especially our army guys, up to the Shannon Bowling Club for light refreshments. The service of the day is over. This blood red poppy, the traditional emblem of sacrifice, the symbol of life given for one country. We place it here in abiding memory.
You're going to put yours.
Ja.
World War II. Great War. Just put it somewhere. One up here. You put yours by Mum's over here. You're going to put yours over?
What?
Where are you going to put yours? You're going to put yours? You're going to put yours?
I said, do I have to?
No, you don't have to if you really don't want to, but that's... Oh, you should though.
You should have a go.
Well, we're marching on now. Okay. Oh, that's
That's not a bad thing. That doesn't mean we can tell Daddy about that.
Where's Mum? I'm back over there. We're assembling for the march now. We're going to march down to the old thingamabob.
I can't see Mum.
Just here.